Good Monday evening to our audience tonight for episode 7 of season 5 of Around the State, a Prep Baseball Alabama podcast discussing all things relative to high school baseball across the state of Alabama. This is the one we've been waiting for. This is the week before the season gets kicked off this coming Thursday. I know we're already making plans for Thursday, and then we've mentioned it several times. We've got the Kickoff Classic coming up this week at River Run Park in Northport, and we're not going to bring on any coaches tonight. We did this last year and thought it was a really good episode of people submitting some questions that we can answer. It is not too late to submit any questions. If there are any questions that you may have, please throw them in the comments section. Obviously, if you're watching us live, you had no issue getting on, but a little bit of an issue.
I think I figured it out. It's on our icon. Like if you click our icon, it says we're live, but it hasn't posted. So I think I found out how to post it.
Okay, so Austin is working on that now, trying to get it posted on Twitter. Usually it's a really simple process for him. Just again, if you're watching, you had no trouble getting to it. We appreciate you tuning in. As I mentioned, this is our episode where we open it up for questions from our audience. We'll try to answer those the best we can. Obviously, there's probably not a right or wrong answer for these, but just want to give our opinion to some questions that we've had. I think we had about 7 or 8 questions that have come in that we're going to try to look at and answer. And again, as I just mentioned, and I'll repeat this again for those that may get on late, if you do have a question during the course of the show, please go into that comment section there and throw that question in the box, and we'll try to get it answered for you. Austin,
We're good. We're good.
All right, Austin. Good evening. How are you, man?
Good evening. Just doing some last minute things. We've got our the 1A through 5A season previews have come out the last few days. I think I've got 6 more team previews. So I think we had like 108 total. So
yep, 109. We got last one in today, 109.
That feels like the most we've ever done.
I think last year was like 83.
Yeah. So
I think. Yeah.
Yep. So we've banged those out. I think we've got 6 left. So we've got the season previews coming out for each classification. We'll wrap up 7A on Wednesday, and then Thursday will be Kickoff Classic preview, and then opening day is that Thursday, and then Friday we're heading to Tuscaloosa to kick things off, and we're both headed to games on Thursday. Not 100% sure where we're going, but we've got a good idea of where we'll be. But it's the best time of the year. Can't wait to get on the road.
No doubt about it. We rack up the miles, but we enjoy getting out and we say this. I think we said this probably every week last week, man. We enjoy going to the games and we enjoy talking to people. So if you see us, man, come up and speak to us. We enjoy talking to people, talking baseball. Obviously, we are videoing and getting tweets out there, but we do enjoy talking to people. Austin mentioned a couple things that, he just mentioned that 6A classification preview comes out tomorrow, the 7A preview on Wednesday. And then on Thursday, as he mentioned, he will be putting out a Kickoff Classic preview. Really pumped about that. We've talked about it numerous times. We're going to continue with our uncommitted spotlights coming out on Tuesdays and Thursdays. And then just to get you updated, before we get to the questions, we will not be having a podcast next Sunday night. Our next one will be Sunday, March the 1st at 8 o'clock. And the reason being is that we will only be 3 days into the season, and it's hard to recap and talk about a lot of those things. Plus, Austin will be making a trek over to the Atlanta Raceway for the NASCAR race over there. Atlanta Motor Speedway, yeah. So he'll be getting Echo Park, right? Is that what it is or something? Echo?
Yeah. Echo Park.
Yeah. He'll be making his way back from there. So we will not have a podcast next week, but we will be having one on Sunday, March the 1st at 8. That'll be right after our South Alabama Showdown. And at that time, we'll update our 1A through 7A polls. We'll also premiere our Power 25, our initial Power 25 of the best, we think the best 25 teams across the state, regardless of classification. And then that first week of March is when we will be announcing our first Mizuno pitcher and players of the week. Those will be released on March the 3rd. Again, we're not going to base a player of the week and a position player of the week, a pitcher of the week and a position player of the week off of 3 games. So that'll be over the course of the first week and a half of the season. And then as we've done in the past, those are submitted by coaches. Coaches, if you're listening, you will get an email on how to submit players for players and pitchers of the week. You can also DM us on Twitter. Again, that's only for high school coaches. And then those players that were submitted but just did not win pitcher or player of the year or player of the week, we'll be releasing our Diamond Notes section every Wednesday of some standouts across the state that were nominated but just didn't win pitcher or player of the week. Also, one more thing before we move on, we will be doing a daily roundup each day of the season, and then we'll be doing our weekly scout blogs of some players that we see during the week, and that will be updated as we get out to games. We're not going to see games every single day due to weather or just maybe not games close enough to us, but we'll get out most days and see games throughout the state. We've got a couple of guys working for us in South Alabama, a couple of guys in the Dothan area, and then we've got three or four working from the north central to the northern part of the state. So we'll try to get out and see as much as we can. Again, we enjoy getting out and covering the games. Austin, I know that's a lot of housekeeping type stuff before we get into our questions. Anything that I might have left out that you want to chime in with?
Let's get into this. Get into the shop. We've got some good discounts on the shop right now.
Yes, we
I don't
do.
know if you've seen that. Our St. Patrick's Day T-shirt is live, coming out, and then we've got. Let's see. I think I've got this. Got some hoodies, limited sizes. I've got this one. This is about as comfortable. It's about as
that is the
comfortable
best piece we have. Yes, I've got it red, black, and gray, and I think you do as well.
So you can see it's originally priced $60. It's $40 now. Got this piece right here. I don't have this one, but good looking piece too. Another sweatshirt. So we've got some good pieces for sale to take advantage of. Be nice to see some prep baseball merchandise being worn maybe at River Run and at what other games we go to this spring. So I'd head over to shop at prepbaseball.com to get a look at some of the merch, see if you want anything. So
absolutely.
But yeah, other than that, I'm good. Talked about it. The opening week Q&A. We've got, like you said, probably 7 or 8 questions that were submitted on a Google form I put out a couple of days ago. But if you didn't see it or if you have a question that you want to ask, like you said, we're always wanting to answer questions. So drop them in the comments. You can, throw them in the comments. We'll throw it up and just kind of an open discussion today. We really don't, like you said, just the questions and just kind of bridging the gap to opening day. So.
Well, I got to add 2 things real quick. Throw that first one up there. I think he's wanting to know who are the Blue Map Chasers. Great question.
Saraland's one of them.
Saraland is one of them. And again, we are not putting you off, but in each of those previews that Austin has put out, and I know specific to Saraland, 6A will be coming out tomorrow. And Austin and I both make picks for state champion, state runner-up. So that'll be in there. Appreciate that question. And I have to ask this, Austin. We did get a question that I didn't put on here, and it came from someone named Ivy Sharp. She wanted to know, when were the wives of Prep Baseball Alabama going to be on the podcast? Is there anybody out there that would like to anybody out there that like
if we get to 1 million viewers, then they can come on. We get to 1 million viewers.
Yeah, and there's HT Gunnan. Met him last year at Hartselle. Looking forward to seeing you in Hartselle again this year. Absolutely, I'll be there. We also look forward to seeing Hartselle this weekend. Kickoff Classic, single game on Friday and 2 on Saturday. And that's a good little lead into our first question in just a second. Daryl Wilson, love the 5A preview. I think you guys hit the nail on the head with the predictions for the year. Well, I will tell you that
it wasn't easy to pick.
It wasn't easy to pick. Again, I have to give all the credit to Austin, man. That was Austin. He did the preview. Obviously, we each made our own picks. We'll see where that goes, man. But we both like our picks. But yeah, we appreciate that and appreciate you guys chiming in. But again, I'm going back to HT Gunn and ask about seeing you, coming to see Hartselle again. And we talked about the Kickoff Classic, and our first question from a viewer, and we're not going to give any, these are all going to remain anonymous. How much should we really read into opening week games? Austin, you want to tackle that, or
yeah, I think it's I think you can definitely get a lot. I mean, obviously these teams that come to play in the Kickoff Classic, if you go 3-0, that's you can obviously read into that. But these games, these first couple of weeks, you've got a lot of these coaches. Yeah, you can practice, you can scrimmage, but until you throw these players out into the fire and get them that varsity experience with the lights on and just playing at the varsity level, then you really know what you have. But like I said, then on the flip side, if you go 3-0 against 3 quality teams, and you've definitely made a statement. So it can go both ways. I think I can see it if you want to touch on it a little bit more. But try not to, like, when we do our polls, like if a team goes 1-2 at the Kickoff Classic this week, or any other games that they're playing, we're not going to drop them from just make some big overreaction, drop them 3 to outside the top 10. So you can learn a lot about these opening week games, but there's still a lot of baseball to be played.
And I'll say this, winning is important. And all coaches will tell you winning is important because you have to learn how to win. And, touching on that question there, once you get in the fire, a coach, he's not going to think, well, this might be good for, bottom of the 5th, 2 outs, 3 balls, 2 strikes, bases loaded. He's not thinking, well, this might be good for us. He is simply wanting to win the game. But I think Josh Holliday, the head coach of Oklahoma State, I saw an interview with him just today, and Oklahoma State went 0-3 this weekend out in Texas against the likes of Oklahoma and 2 other people, went 0-3. And they asked him about it, and he said, if we wanted to be 3-0, we could have scheduled accordingly. And so he said, we're trying to get our team ready for what's coming down the road. And it was a great, great answer. And, everybody wants to have a knee jerk. If you go 3-0 at the Kickoff Classic, or you're ultimately blue map chasers, or if you go 0-3, or if you go 0-3, is the sky falling? No, it's not, and I think coaches will tell you, and I'll tell you this, you want to be peaking at the right time. You don't want to start too hot because your bats are not going to stay hot all year long. You want to be peaking at the right time. So, you want to be competitive, but it's not end all be all first couple weeks of the season.
And even to add to your point about Oklahoma State, I think it was in that same tournament. Oklahoma was unranked. They went 3-0, scored double-digit runs, I think, every single, and they were unranked. So it can go both ways. But like you said, you can go to area play 0-20, and you win those 6 games. You're hosting the playoffs, and you're in a good spot to make a playoff run. So ultimately, what these coaches are trying to do, and they're trying to play the best competition they can find, trying to get their kids, I think the best way you put it, you don't want to, as a coach, you don't want to be surprised by anything you see in the playoffs. You want your kids to if they're facing an upper 80s arm in the first round of the playoffs, they probably want to get their players to see that in the high school season. So they're trying to prepare their players for the postseason. So
no doubt,
it's a good question.
Going on to our second question, do you think? And also, I think Austin's putting them up there. Yeah. Thank you. Do you think preseason rankings matter a lot, or not really once games start? Well, I can tell you this. Can you want to take it, Austin, or me? Or
you can go. You got it. I'll touch on it too.
I'll tell you this. They mean nothing once games start. And, we said that in our preseason polls. Now, that doesn't mean that we go through and just try to, just put anybody and everybody in the top 10. I mean, we spend hours doing it. We also know that we're not going to be completely right. I mean, obviously, we have some confidence in what we put out there to a degree, but it's so difficult to rank teams when they haven't played at all. And as we've referenced numerous times, we know player rankings and we know team rankings are important. I mean, colleges aren't going to recruit a player on, well, they're the number 47 player in the 26 class. They're going to recruit a player based on what they like. And we know that as scouts, but we also know that it means a lot to players. So we try to do the best we can to get it right, knowing it's subjective and it will never be 100% right. The same with the team rankings. We're going to miss. There's going to be surprises, and we don't know what they are. And we don't know what they are. We don't know what surprises there are going to be. But again, it doesn't mean anything once you get into those games that matter, which leads us back into our previous question. You're getting your games played against quality opponents early in the season so that you are prepared for those games that matter. All right. Austin,
and even talking about like a team like Alberta, I think, because 5A seemed like, especially the past few years, including this year, 5A is as deep and competitive as a field that I think that there is in 1A and 7A. And there were some tough stuff. I mean, it was tough to rank the top 10 going into the postseason, and Alberta reached the Final Four and I think had St. Paul's down to Game 3. Ultimately, St. Paul's won that series. But like you said, no matter what part of the season, the rankings obviously do not matter. The games are played on the field. So
you want to throw those comments up there? We'll get several comments.
That's what we need. Yeah, we need some interaction in this podcast.
Yeah, this is what we want y'all to do, the talking. Ms. Keitlinger, you are absolutely. Oh, thank you. Thanks for all your hard work. Looking forward to seeing you both this weekend. We're pumped about it too. We'll be getting down there a little after lunch on Friday to get things set up. Thank you. We look forward to seeing y'all. And is this JJ Gray? Yeah, JJ must be coaching Fort Payne this year, man. JJ, I'll make my way over there. I want to see that new park y'all got. It's not new now; it's probably 4 or 5 years old. But I want to get over there and see it. I want to get over there and see that new park. I think JJ Tracy Evans. We're jumping straight into the fire right off the jump as Madison County travels to Desher this Saturday. Hoping those girly boys are ready. I think we're going to be pretty good. You know what? We think Madison County is going to be pretty good as well. I think we've got them preseason 3. Is that right? In 4A?
Yeah.
Now, I'll say this about Madison County. I know that game Saturday again at Deschler is going to be a biggie, but Thursday they're playing a really good Scottsboro team, and I haven't decided where I'm going. That might be a place that I go. I'm not sure yet, but Madison County Scottsboro matchup on day one could be really, really intriguing. And then Nick Boatwright, Headland is coming through this year, man. We wish you nothing but the best. Met a lot of good people last year at Headland. Wish y'all nothing but the best. Absolutely.
He'll be talented, that's for sure.
It will be very talented. That's right. Here we go. Oh, here's a good question. Good question. Do or die game 3. You have to pick one starting pitcher to give the ball to. Who is it? That's a good question. Do or die game 3. You have to pick one starting pitcher to give the ball to. Who is it? Austin, I hope we don't have the same person. Do you want to go first? Or
yeah.
Okay, I hope we don't have the same person.
Well, we talked about it last podcast. I went and watched some AISA action last week, watched Lakeside. I've seen 2 pitchers throw, and one of them is my answer. I've already seen my pitcher who I would give the ball to in a game 3, and that's Boston Brown, 2027 right-handed pitcher. Like I said, from Lakeside, committed to Auburn. I want a guy who I go out there and he's not afraid to challenge hitters, and that's what Boston does. He's got some big time competitiveness to him, and that's what makes him really good. He's got really good stuff too. Was up to 92 when I saw him. Apparently was a little bit higher this past week in his game, and he's going to win a lot of games this spring. And if I had a game 3, that's who I would give the ball to.
And his team's probably going to win a lot of games this year too. So
Yeah.
they will. Well, man, I'm going to go with somebody different. I thought that you may go with Boston Brown. That's a great pick. I'd have no problem with him. I do see over here, we've got in the comments, Cade Mason.
That's a good one too.
0.75 ERA last year. Saraland's number one. Yep, absolutely. I wouldn't mind giving him the rock either. But I'm going to go from Thompson High School. I'm going to go Wyatt Williams. I'm a big fan of Wyatt Williams. He's already signed with Alabama. He'll be headed there after this year. Big time bat. I expect to see some improvement on the mound from him from his junior to his senior year, and he had a really good year last year. I spoke with Coach Perez about him one time, and I've yet to say this, but I'm going to publicly say this. Man, I'm telling you, without going into detail what Coach Perez said about him, Coach Perez basically said that, man, he's on a level by himself, just the way he carries himself, the way he works. And I tell you, Wyatt plays the game with some confidence. It's quiet confidence. He's not an exuberant guy, not a lot of flash to him. He just goes about his business and he can pitch, and he also can absolutely swing the stick as well. But I wouldn't have any problem giving it to Wyatt Williams. You mentioned Boston Brown. I think those two guys have a lot of similarities. I don't think they're going to back down from anybody. I think they're going to attack the zone and trust their stuff. And if I was 92, 95, I'd probably trust my stuff as well. So
here's the number one.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, that's right. I'll read this one. Austin, you can throw it up there. What wins more games in high school baseball? Pitching, defense, or timely hitting? I'm gonna let Austin go first if he wants to. You've probably, if you've been on our podcast the last couple of years, you know what I'm going to say.
The cliche is pitching and defense, and I think you probably picking one. I would probably say pitching. I would go with pitching, especially you look at just throwing up a team like Deschler. Like Deschler is going to be. We have him number one in 4A. They won the state championship last year. They've got big time arms returning. When you roll out a guy like a Garrett Reed and the other guys that they have on their staff, you know what you're going to get. The opposing team is probably not going to score many runs, and offensively that gives you confidence that today you probably may just need to score 3 or 4 runs because you know that the guy on the mound that you're rolling out there is really good. So I would probably lean pitching, and all 3 of those answers are important to winning baseball games, but I'm going to lean pitching here.
And you know where I'm going. Pitching and defense, man. And here's why. If you don't pitch and defend, those timely hits mean nothing, because if you don't pitch or defend, you're probably down 8-0, and you get a timely hit, makes it 8-1. I mean, that's, it doesn't help you much, but if, consistently, if you can command the strike zone, if you can play solid defense, you're not going to give up a ton of runs, and you may be down 2-0 in the 7th instead of being down 8-0, and then that allows that big 2-strike hit or that big timely hit to take place. So again, pitching and defense, it keeps you in games. Timely hitting a lot of times wins games for you. Again, before I started laughing, got off topic there's a big difference in going into the 6th or 7th inning down 2-0 because you limited runs than being down 8-0. All right. Being down 8-0 and, you don't have a chance with 3 outs pretty much. So, yep.
There going to be some days where offensively hitting slumps sometimes, pitching and defense doesn't. So,
yep. Throw up that first one there. Yeah. Mr. Boatwright, absolutely. As a matter of fact, I'm going tomorrow night to another high school banquet to give that exact same speech tomorrow night. Looking forward to doing it. And then Colin Chamblin, Panda Express or Captain D's when eating fast food, headed to or from a high school game. For those of you that know me, Austin, you'll side with me here, right?
No, I'm going Billy's in Northport, Alabama. I got to start pubbing Billy's.
That's a good place, man. I agree with you. But I'm Panda Express all day long. For those of you that don't know, huge Panda Express fan. Colin Chamlin's giving me a little grief there because we stopped at Captain D's last year coming home from a game, and I think he got sick. So that's a shot there. And Stuart Cassingham, mediocre pitching outperforms mediocre hitting all day long. You are exactly right. I checked the South Alabama box score this week. I think Charlie got 2 pinch hitting appearances down there at South Alabama. So hope he continues. Again, that says a lot. Freshman coming off the bench to get some early ABs early in his freshman season. So, appreciate you chiming in there, Mr. Cassingham. The next question, I think you skipped. Okay, yeah, we'll go back. I think you skipped one. We'll go back to it after this, Austin, right above it. There it is. All right. Never mind. I was one ahead. How do high school teams get in your high school tournaments? That's a great question. Listen, man, every year scheduling gets earlier and earlier and earlier. And, we love to have quality teams in our 3 events. Obviously our first one this week is the Kickoff Classic. We feel that it's some of, and don't get offended if you're not coming. I said some of the premier programs in the state coming this weekend. Next weekend, we go the Kickoff Classic, where we try to match as many teams from the northern half of the state against teams from the southern half of the state. We try to do that to the best we can. Obviously, travel has to do a lot with that, when people can play and where they can play. And then we finish up in 3 weeks with the Small Town Showdown back at Northport at River Run. So how do you get in? Man, we have coaches that reach out to us, and that'll start happening in probably a month or 6 weeks. I mean, it starts during this season. And any coaches out there that are listening, they know that when I coached, that was one of the biggest headaches, was that you're involved in this season now and you're already getting text for the next season in scheduling. And you feel like you have to, or you're going to miss out on some quality games. So to answer your question, man, we would invite any coach that feels that they have a caliber of team that can come in and compete in the Kickoff Classic or in the South Alabama Showdown to reach out to us as we get going next year. And then the Small Town Showdown will be for teams in 1A through 3A. Now, I will say this, for next year's Small Town Showdown, we were obviously going to be making some adjustments. It'll probably be, we don't know this yet, but that private 1A will probably be included in that. So any of those schools, we've got you on our radar as well. Austin, you need to add anything to that?
No, and we had, we've talked about potentially, I mean, this was just brought up last week about potentially expanding the Kickoff Classic. So, we're always trying to look and just add quality teams, and, maybe adding a few more teams to the Kickoff Classic. We'll get some more people in. And I know Kickoff Classic is fun. You get to see some of the best teams, but I know what my favorite weekend is. So getting to go down south. So, but right. It's two exciting weekends coming up here. These are the kind of questions I like. This is not baseball related, but favorite Winter Olympic sports. It's probably no secret, I stay up pretty late. I like getting some work done late at night. And with the Olympics on, I've got a Peacock membership. So I just throw it on I think they got some kind of like show that just continues to roll through highlights and whatever's going on. And I've watched cross country skiing. It's pretty interesting. It's a long endurance race. They go uphill, downhill. It's my first time ever watching it, but it was pretty impressive to see those athletes and how long they're able to go. They're going, especially going uphill too. It was pretty impressive. But yeah, been following the Olympics. So what's yours?
I would have to go hockey, which right now we are absolutely dominating. The men got a bye into the second round of the medal series. Heath Blaylock says curling. Yeah, man. What a controversy, man, accusing Canada of cheating and touching the, whatever that is, the curling thing they push. And then ball. Yeah. And not to discredit our women, man. Our women are dominating, have not been scored on. in ice hockey. People think it's going to come down to them in Canada, and we beat Canada 5-0, I think 2 days ago. So we enjoyed hockey, man. How can you not enjoy hockey with Miracle? 1980, for those of you that were live in 1980. You want to go on down to our next comment there?
Heath Laylock also says JC and Hoover, I think, is on a Saturday this weekend. That's a good one too.
Yep, I saw that.
Let's see. Let's see.
It's good, man.
Remember the name Jake Foles, up and coming catcher at Lakeside. We know Jake got a big arm behind the plate. Sophomore catcher. He caught Boston Brown when I went and saw him last week. He's impressive. Really good catcher and can swing it. I'm not gonna look at it. Coach Zesson from Florala. Shout out to you guys for being awesome and covering Alabama high school baseball. No one does it better than y'all. Florala versus Ayrton, March 17th at Florala. See y'all there. May have to make a trip south. We'll see. Yep. That's a big time matchup. 1A and 2A schools. Will we be in Mobile this weekend? We will not be. We have like we said, we have the Kickoff Classic in Tuscaloosa, but the next weekend we'll be down south.
And our Mobile scout may be getting out this weekend. We're going to touch base with him in the next day or two. So don't know where he's headed right now, but we are. Yeah. Also, Saraland was supposed to be. Saraland was supposed to be in our South Alabama showdown, and then that trip to Louisiana got brought up. They went to that, so now Satsuma took their place here. So yeah, good luck to the Spartans there. Gordo getting blue cooler and flyover plane ready for the season. Appreciate you guys. Mr. Russell, you're not going to believe this. I guess is it your father-in-law maybe? I believe. I spoke with him. I've spoke with him several times. We've already got the flyover ready for the small town showdown. He's going to, matter of fact, he's going to come up and meet us this coming Friday up at River Run, and we're going to get everything set up for the flyover for the small town showdown. We're looking forward to it, and I hope you Gordo people saw who I picked in 3A. So no doubt about it. No doubt.
Yep. 100%.
Yeah, we think he's he's the top uncommitted arm in the state in the senior class. There's no doubt about it, and he would probably already be committed if he was not coming back from injury. Big spring ahead for Leighton Pohl. We know Leighton very well, was on our future games teams 2 years ago. And listen, man, we wish him nothing but the best, and we hope he stays healthy. That's the big thing.
Yeah.
Moving on. What's that?
He'll find a place this spring.
100% he will. All right, here's the next question. Oh, this was a good one. I like this one. Concerning player rankings, does geographical area in the state play a part in the rankings? You want to take a stab, or you want me to?
You could take a stab at it. I know a lot of people like to play this card, but it's
absolutely.
The answer is absolutely not.
Listen, and it's the same for team rankings. We don't care where someone is, where someone lives. We don't care anything other than we try to do the best job possible. We don't look at our top 10 and say, well, we need to get 3 guys from the Dothan area in, and 3 from Mobile, and 3 from Huntsville, and 2 from Birmingham. It could be an all Dothan top 10. It could be we honest to goodness do not even consider where someone plays.
We don't even have high school player. We don't even have the players' high school. We have a whole Google Sheet database inputting players that we see throughout the spring, summer, and we just put position, their name, notes. We don't even put high school. So that, yeah.
Yeah. And to be honest with you, some people that ask that question, number one, they only see the top 10. They don't see the 150. All right. They only go by the top 10. And then, the second thing there is, some of those people that ask about it, they only look at, like, let's say specifically the 26s, because then the next day the 28s are more more heavy towards the south central part of the state, Auburn area. So again, absolutely not. I'm glad that question came up. I'll be honest with you.
It's different every class. I think 27s, we've got more more
Yeah.
players, Montgomery South, and I mean it's different every class.
Yeah,
So
and we don't care where they're from. So throw that one up there. With private and public schools separating next year, how will that affect baseball? It will not affect anything during the regular season. They're still able to play each other. The only time that it's going to affect, the only time it's going to affect the play is that once you get into championship play, the playoffs, we're going back to 6 classifications instead of 7 classifications, which makes all of those classifications even harder. And then you're going to have a private Division One in the smaller private schools, and then you're going to have a private Division Two. That's the only thing that it's going to affect is the championship play. We talked about this a couple weeks ago. We don't want to make anybody mad, but you know, there's pros and cons to all of it. And I think a lot of times you have to look at what side you're on, because we all, I don't want to say bias, but we all have our own opinion on how things should run based on how it affects us. So if you're a private school, you probably, want to argue this, that, and the other. If you're a public school, you want to argue this and that. So there's 2 sides to it. They're still going to be able to play everybody they want to during the regular season. But again, once it goes to championship play, all right, you're only going to be competing. Private schools will be in Division One or Division Two. That's 2 separate private school classifications. And then you're going to go to your 6 public schools. Austin, anything there?
How's Huntsville supposed to be from Cade Hedden?
Cade Hedden.
They won't have it. They'll be good. They're young. They got good talent, but they won't have a manager who's got a baseball bat hitting the top of the dugout in the dugout.
Cade Hedden, I would be lying to you if I didn't tell you that I went over to Huntsville's practice today and threw some BP to them. And I looked over in the corner, and Cade's corner is still over there, although they had to repaint the top of the dugout because it was just destroyed by you. But Cade, it is great to hear from you. Obviously, pulling for Huntsville, they've got some good young talent, and I think they're going to be a team. They're going to be a team that this year and in years to come, a team that will be reckoned with, a team to be looking out for. So good to hear from you, Cade. Thank you. Next question. Which class do you think is going to be the most fun to follow this season? I bet we both say the same one.
Yeah. Well, I don't know.
Here's my 2. I think 3A and 6A.
Yeah, I'm saying 2 different ones.
Yeah, I'm saying 3A and 6A, man.
I'm saying 5A and 7A.
Oh, okay.
5A and 7A. Obviously, just because 7A, there's the top 5 or 6 teams in that classification, especially with Hoover, Tuscaloosa County, Bob Jones, Central Phoenix City, Hewitt, Trussville, Thompson. Yeah, it's going to be a fun storyline to follow all year long. And then 5A, we've talked about it, just how deep the field is. In Class 5A, obviously, last year's state champ American Christian is going to be really good once again this year. You've got Faith Academy, who has a chance to have who on paper is about as talented as anybody in the classification. Hold on, I'm pulling it up real quick. Northside's going to be good. I mentioned Faith Academy, St. Paul's Episcopal, Demopolis, Briarwood Christian, Russellville, UMS Wright, Madison Academy, Springville. And then I think there's some teams outside the top 10 there was a good bit of teams on the bubble in today's 5A preview that I just felt like that had to be mentioned, because they've got a chance to have, to potentially not only make their way into the top 10 throughout the season, but to have a chance to become a contender down the stretch. You've got Alberta last year's reached the Final Four, Elmore County, Headland, like we talked about. Lawrence County was strong last year. How much do they bring back? Marbury had a good year last year. Mobile Christian. And then 2 teams, Moody and Scottsboro. Moody has 5 senior players who are committed to or signed to play at the next level. Scottsboro has got a lot coming back from last year. So 5A is really deep. I don't know if there's I don't think there's a legitimate breakaway candidate in 5A that you think you would pick and say, this is who we think is going to win. I think 5A is pretty wide open. So I'm going to go 5A and 7A.
Yeah, I like 3A. It's going to be interesting to follow 3A because I said it all last year. Gordo was a team of sophomores, just about all sophomores. I think they started an 8th grader at third base. They lost one player. They're going to be back. They should be better. Glenwood obviously returns as the top dog. They lost some pieces, but don't feel sorry for them because they've got plenty of pieces in place. That's why we've got them ranked number 1. You look at St. James. I think who they lose to. Well, they lose to Glenwood.
Yeah, be back Glenwood.
Glenwood, that's right. Lee Scott Academy is going to have arms. They made a run last year as well. And there's other teams. We talked about the Altamont School last week. That's a team to keep an eye on. Wicksburg, Collinsville is a junior heavy team. I think that 3A is going to be – I think I really believe in 3A, man. There is a lot of teams in that hat that can win it. But in my opinion, again, Austin and I don't have to feel the same way. I talk about there being a ton of teams in that hat in 3A that can win it. 6A is even crazier. I mean, because we've got teams, without a doubt, we've got teams outside the top 10 in 6A that should be ranked. And it would not surprise me at all for a team outside the top 10 in 6A to make a deep run or even win a state championship. But you look at our top 10, it's Hartsville, Homewood, Chelsea, Mountain Brook, Spain Park, Northridge, Hazel Green, Saraland, Pell City, Oxford. Those are 10 juggernaut programs there. That was in my opinion, that was our hardest group to rank. You've got teams outside Coleman. I know Coleman is expecting to be very good this year, and we all know Coleman. They're blue collar. They're going to get after you. They're not going to beat themselves. You look at people like Gardendale, Gulf Shores, Helena. I think Helena very well could be a top 10 team. And again, we're going to see Helena this week. They may go 3-0, 2-1, 1-2, 0-3. We don't know. And then, Hueytown. I know Coach Chandler, he's pumped about all the guys he's got coming back. Rehoboth, Spanish Fort, another team that might be flying under the radar a little bit that always makes deep run in the playoffs. A team that I know Austin loves, Stanhope Elmore. I think they open up with Opelika. Is that right? They won
Thursday.
Yeah, they open up with Opelika Thursday. And again, there's a number of other teams there that we haven't mentioned. So I'm going to enjoy watching 3A and 6. I'm going to enjoy watching everything, but I think 3A and 6A could be very, very interesting to follow.
Let me give some love to 1A too. I think 1A, obviously Hackleburg comes back, but Addison, I think are Addison and Hackleburg in the same area? I want to say because someone commented on the Facebook post and said, "Oh no, Addison or Hackleburg 1, Addison 2." But you've got Hackleburg and Addison at the top. Fayetteville brings back, I think, literally every single piece from last year, over 1,000 at bats. Leroy, last year's runner-up, they're going to be strong again. Appalachian, Brantley, Florala, Lynn, Milry, and Billings. I mean, just running through the top 10, there's some teams outside too that we may just not be familiar with who they're bringing back and could make their way into the top 10 and become a contender. But 1A will be not too. Okay.
They are not in the same area. Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. Jared Smith asks, who's going to be the team in Baldwin County this year? I have to tell you this. I know where Baldwin County is.
I pulled up Google. I said high schools in Baldwin County, Alabama.
I know where Baldwin County is, but I don't know where the line is between Baldwin County and Mobile County. Just like somebody from Mobile doesn't know where I live, the line between Limestone County and Madison County. So don't be offended when I say some teams outside of Baldwin County, but some teams down south. Obviously, we've talked about Faith Academy. We legitimately believe that is a serious contender for a blue map. Love them. Saraland, we've talked about Saraland. I don't think they're in Baldwin County. I think they're in Mobile County. Again, please don't be offended here. I'm just looking at some teams from down south. Really love Saraland there.
Got the map pulled up.
Yeah. Faith Academy. I know they're not.
Mobile is not in Baldwin County, I don't think.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah.
So you've got Daphne, Fairhope, down to Gulf Shores, Bay Minette, like the Fairhope Space Side Academy.
UMS Wright. I was about to say UMS Wright. I think UMS Wright's a sneaky little team there in 5A as well. They don't. I don't get into all that Baldwin County Mobile stuff, but UMS Wright's another team. So yeah, the South is going to be very strong as normal again this year. And again, we get to see a lot of those teams. We get to see a lot of them next week. Okay. And I know where the Mobile Bay is, but man, I'm lost worse than an Easter egg when I go to Mobile, man, on what side is what. So again,
just tell me how close it is to Buc-ee's, and I'll
there you go.
I know where Buc-ee's is.
Go back up to that 841, man. That
There
first
you
one at 841. Yeah, favorite baseball movie. I've got two of them. One of them may catch you off guard a little bit. Summer Catch is a classic.
I know why Summer Catch. But
No. Summer Catch is one, and the other, well, it's three. Summer Catch, Moneyball, and the number one baseball movie of all time, in my opinion, easily, Major League. Come on, Dorn. I can't say the rest of it, but yeah, I love Major League. Austin, what about you?
I like The Rookie.
Yeah, that's a
The
good
Rookie.
movie. Yeah.
But you really can't go wrong with many baseball movies.
That's right. No doubt about it. Yep.
Oak Grove,
yeah.
Can definitely make another run in 4A.
Yep, they sure can.
Got who they bring back.
We got them preseason number 4. Absolutely, they can. No doubt.
I don't think Dalton Troncalli was a senior last year. I know he was a middle of the order hitter for them. I think Hicks is back. Troncalli's a senior, so they've got experienced pieces back from last year's team. Just fell short in two really close games in the semifinals to Bibb County. Yeah.
That's
so
right.
Absolutely.
Yep, no doubt about it.
Talk about Faith. Faith will be really good again.
Yep, no doubt.
Grissom at Hazel Green Thursday night. That'll be a good one too.
Well, I'll go ahead and tell you, I'm either going to Madison County, Scottsboro, or Grissom Hazel Green on Thursday. I'm not sure which one yet, so I'll be at one of those. Again, we appreciate the questions, man. We would rather answer y'all's questions live here. I appreciate it, Jeremy. Again,
I know where I'm at now.
Yeah. Listen, I just know that when I go down to the beach, I go 65 South. And favorite baseball movie quote. Maybe in Major League when they call Lou Brown to ask him if he wants to manage, and he says, "I don't know. I've got a guy on the other line about some white walls. I'll talk to you later." I don't know. But yeah, that's one of mine. So
what's the one? What's the movie with the reliever guy? I'm blanking. And he throws a pitch that ain't even close.
Major League.
Major League.
Yeah, just a bit outside. Tried the corner and missed. Yeah, all 4. Ball 8. Ball 12, and Vaughn has loaded the bases on 12 consecutive pitches. Yeah, that's it. Major League. That's right.
There's no crying in baseball.
That's a good one. Yep, that's a good one. And that's also a good movie, too. Sharps, y'all know we love to catch you each week and appreciate you. With that said, we are passionate down here. 100%.
That's good.
And we love it. Absolutely.
We are, too.
Yep, we are. Yep. We and that's why, man, when we go to games, we enjoy talking to people. Bull Durham, best movie, have to agree. I mean, a couple years ago, me and Austin went to where Bull Durham. Oh man,
Charlie,
go ahead.
I'll be there soon, Charlie. I'll come check out St. James. I'll be there. I think I hadn't looked at their schedule yet, but yeah, St. James. I'll be there at St. James sometime here in the next few weeks. Let's see.
You don't get to our last question that was sent in before we go here, so we can. This is our last question that was sent in, and then we've got some more out in the comment box. We'll get to them. And again, this has been awesome. We appreciate all of y'all chiming in. Let's see here. I'm gonna let Austin put it up there. early season candidate for player of the year. Man, this is really asking us to go out on a limb.
That's the prep baseball that we name our player of the year for at the beginning of the season or at the end of the season. We have our award we assign. We give. Last year was Eric Hines.
You saw his AB,
yeah.
didn't
Yeah.
you?
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm gonna go ahead and give you mine if you're good with that.
Yeah.
Again, this is tough. I'm gonna go from Hoover High School. I'm going Will Adams.
Yeah.
Will, listen, and Hoover High School, we've got them ranked number 1 in 7A. That they're talented. I think Will is that straw that stirs the drink, man. He's going to hit in the middle of that order. He's going to hammer balls. He's also going to go on the bump. It's the LSU signee. He's going to get on the bump, and he's going to. I'm not going to speak for Coach Mosley, but probably be their number 1. I think he's, and I don't want to say breakout because he's not a breakout because he's put up numbers over the long haul. But man, I'm gonna go with Will Adams, and I think a lot of that has to do with the duality of who he is, a position player and a pitcher. So give me Will Adams.
It also helps having, Jackson Wood. I think Jackson Wood is a candidate. And those two will kind of go hand in hand, helping each other because you've got, especially in that Hoover lineup, but even more so, you've got pieces around you to protect you. So you can't put Will Adams on, or you can't put Jackson Wood on and then pitch to, because I think normally they put them back to back. I think in their lineup, I may be wrong, but last year James All had a big year, and I'm pretty sure probably a majority of that is because a lot of teams wanted to pitch around Adams and Wood. But that Hoover lineup is loaded, and that's only going to help Adams and even Jackson Wood's case. I'm going to go. I don't want to. John Stowers, I think, obviously is a candidate. He's hit double-digit home runs, I think, for the last 2 years for St. Paul's. He's going to lead St. Paul's this year once again.
Two-time prep baseball All-American.
Yeah, he Auburn recruit. He's that their lineup once again last year was loaded. They had a bunch of pieces around him. We'll see how. I'm sure a lot of people probably don't want to pitch to him, but we'll see kind of year he has. I'm sure it'll be another big time year. You can't not talk about Rocco Maniscalco, number 1 player in the state, headed to Mississippi State. He's should have a big year for Oxford this year. You talked about the duality, having two-way ability. Wyatt Williams, who we've talked about, is a big arm, like you said, up to 95, can hit. He should pad that stat sheet on both sides of the ball. Levi Nikolai for Homewood. So those, there's you can go down the list and make cases for some of these guys.
Austin's cheating, man. I went with one. He's throwing out a bunch of names, man.
You can. Someone will screen record this and I'm just covering my bases for a few months. But Garrett Reed too for Deshler. There's a lot of good players in the state, so it'll be a tough decision, no doubt.
You gonna pick one, or are you just gonna?
I'll go Stowers.
Okay, all right, that's a good pick. That's a good pick. Absolutely. You got a question for you, Austin?
Dorsett. I know Prattville, Spain Park. I'm decided. I'm not sure yet. Got a few games around here Thursday, so we'll see. But even if I'm not there Thursday, I'll be there. I'll be there soon. So that's probably one of the best games in the state to start the season on Thursday. So there you go. What do you expect from the Alabama baseball walking encyclopedia? I don't know about that.
There he is, Austin Sharp. That's Ross Hickson. That's what he calls Austin, the baseball walking encyclopedia of Alabama. Yeah, this has been a ton of fun, man. This is something that we enjoy every year. Probably should do more of it, to be honest with you. But yeah, we appreciate you guys jumping on. We are pumped just like you are. We enjoy answering your questions or trying to answer your questions. Just a couple things before we sign off tonight. Obviously, we've already mentioned it several times. We've got our 3 high school events coming up over the next 3 weekends. Looking forward to all those. I mentioned this at the beginning of the podcast, and I will mention it again. We will not be having a podcast next Sunday night, simply because there's only going to be 3 days of playing going on. And, we're not going to update our classification polls at that time. There's just not enough to update on 3 games. So we will not have a podcast next week, but we will get back on our podcast on Sunday, March the 1st at 8 p.m. We'll be just getting back from the South Alabama Showdown. We'll be updating our 1A through 7A classification polls, and releasing our initial Power 25 for the year. And then that week, as I also mentioned, we'll be releasing our Mizuno pitcher and player of the week, as well as our diamond notes as well. So, we're
got one. Need to come down for Face St. Paul's series. I know that's, and I'm not making this up. We're
April 4th through 11th or something.
It's April. It's the first week of April. I think second through something. It's the first week of April. We're planning a trip. We'll definitely be back down to the Mobile area, and like I said, we have somebody down there the whole year. But anytime I can go down south to Mobile and Gulf Shores, I won't turn down that opportunity.
Yeah, and that's we knew the date of that series because we've actually looked at that getting down there. So Boston Brown chimes in. Thank you. Boston's gotten off to a good start. Boston, I don't know if you heard, but Austin picked you as his do or die game 3 starter on the bump, man. And I picked Wyatt Williams. I guess we got an Alabama-Auburn thing going on there, but I could live with either one of them. So, again,
a quick game.
It would be a quick game. Yep. Yes, it would. Before we sign off, we do plan on getting our summer schedule wrapped up and then released in about the next 2 weeks. We're just waiting to confirm 2 locations before we get our summer schedule. It'll mirror last year's pretty close. I can tell you that our Yellowhammer State games will be June 16th and 17th at River Run Park. And as always, as we've mentioned each week on our podcast, if you ever want to get caught up on things, go to our website, prepbaseball.com. Up at the top, you can select Alabama. There's a tab labeled AHSAA. Hover over that AHSAA tab, and below it will pop up everything that we keep up with during the week. So again, for Austin Sharp, we've got one more there. Austin, we'll get to this one. Y'all should come to the Hewitt Altamont game on April the 3rd. I tell you, man, appreciate you reaching out. We talked about Altamont earlier, what we think of them. Obviously, Hewitt Trustful year in, year out, they're, as good as anybody in the state. That'll be something we obviously look at. But we try to look at things like a week before, try to start getting our schedule done. Mr. Williman, thanks for all you threw that up there. Thanks for all you do, guys. We love it. We appreciate it. We look forward to, just to following high school baseball. But we do need to wrap this up. And again, Austin, do you have anything before we do?
No, didn't get to a million viewers. So
the wives can't come on.
Yeah, that's all right.
One of them will be happy. One of them will be sad. So
yeah, about to go deal with it too, probably.
Well, guys, thank you so much. Next time we talk with you, we'll have some games under our belt, man. Looking forward to it. Best of luck to all of you, to your teams, the players. Again, thanks for checking in, and we'll see you on our podcast back on March the 1st. That's a Sunday night. Thank you. Have a good evening.